Philly F.A.M.E. Philly F.A.M.E.
So now let's talk about a little bit how I met N.H. and how we became cool and all that. So I can't remember exactly how we met. But I do remember that. Obviously I say tried to battle H before, so H already know him, had a relationship with him, and they did a cipher, like an unreleased joint that we ended up putting out a little bit later on, leaking on one of our DVDs, and it's on YouTube now. They had the cipher. It was NH, Harlow, Rain Man, Kaboom, Reed, Young Hot was there, Ms. Millions. It was like, they was at Top Class Studio where they used to be at. I think Face filmed it or somebody else filmed it and gave us the footage. But so that was a crazy little moment. But we had that footage for our joint, but I ain't filmed it myself, so I ain't meet him yet. But I know on probably I think our second DVD or whatever the case may be that we actually did, I think that's probably when I met him, because they did a little Touch Money cipher at somebody's crib down north, I believe, down North Philly. Might have been one of Heater people's cribs or something like that. I think they was down north. It was so long ago, I don't remember, but I know they all was in that joint, the whole Touch Money squad. That's when we was doing Bananas to Bunky Bars DVD, and they had the crazy little cipher, and they all had one in. So I think I met him prior to that, but that was like our first DVD that I think I filmed, and I was there, and got to, work with N.H., So, like I said, I can't document the exact time I met him and how that experience was, but ever since I met him and worked together and got cool, we've been locked in.
I'm chopping them rocks up. I still see chicken when I'm chopping the block up. I fly past you in the drop with the top up. We can't stop, won't stop, so how you gonna stop us? It's 07 now, and then my New Year's resolution to show these other rappers in the game that I do this. Yeah, I do this. Bitch like Ray Allen, I'm a shooter. Yeah, sparking off that Ruger, put a part in your medulla. A motherfucking nightmare. I got a buzz like Lightyear. The 44 long is the pipe hair. A nigga make a movie, get sniped here. Touch Money, gang bang, nigga, right hand, behind that. I'm sick of little niggas with this feedback. CD, I don't need that. Get off where I pee at. I said fuck it in one hood. I'm eating in the hood, Lord Daddy, we stunt good. S550 loving seats in the front wood. One say heard about your album and what it was. I was a Chuck Wood, come up with that tough shit, bluffing. Trust me, you been walking home with nothing. You playing with my brain, I put a hole up in his muffin. Tell my nigga Boom to dig a hole so I can stuff it. I got it. Look, if he ain't Touch Money, then fuck him. Treat his ass like a dress shirt. And suck him. I'm one of the original, best individuals to ever step foot in a rap game physical. Ever since I did it, other rappers, they were miserable. You kidding me? I'm kidding you. This shit's getting pitiful. Remarkable the thing that these rappers try to get at you. And swear you up and down that it's something you should listen to. Before bananas, I be posing for them cameras. I got 2040 hammers that are deadly in the slammers. I do you dirty, then I put you in a hat. Shitting on him like a pamphlet, give it to him like a sample.
And he been on damn near every DVD we did after that, And we actually got him on one of our tracks too, on one of our tapes. Him and Boom came through. This when he was doing a tape with my man Sheen from God Spittage. He had wanted to do a tape with us and all that, so we had some features on there, and H and Boom was one of the features. Like I said, that was our guy. Once we met him, once we worked with him, we was locked in. So we definitely got them on our joint and all that, and we got them on our DVD, another one of our DVDs at the studio.
What's going on, man?
What is this right here?
Bananas 3.5, man.
Yeah, all that. I was on all that shit.
All of
them. Everything smoking. I'm on that shit. Go with this. Sucker free shit. I stay sucker free all the time, man. Niggas, you know what it is. You run up, you get done. I'm playing simple. That's how we do things. You niggas know what it is. Shout out to Face. Show, you know what I'm saying? H-Man, Flowers, Jerry, niggas know what it is. Run up, you get that up. Plain and simple. That's what it is.
So yeah, and H, like I said, like he one of my guys, one of my folks, like one of the people who used to see often in the mix. He was always in the mix, always around. One of our DVDs we caught him, we bumped into him just randomly at the gas station. You know what I mean? He had one of our drinks on, one of our shirts on and shit. And we got some footage of him on, I think it was Silverback Season. Yeah, Silverback Season DVD. It gave us some bars and got a little interview right there on the spot. Like, that's just the type of rapport we had. I forget where we was coming from, where we was going, but just happened to have the camera on us and bump into him and get him just like that. Like, I mean, like, so that's just how it was. So NH was on damn near everything that we did. Like, that was our guy, like, for sure. And I mean, he always been popping in the city, always had a name, always had a stamp since he was young. So even though he be in and out sometimes, drop shit here, that he always had a name, notoriety, recognizable, always talk that shit. I mean, a lot of people always fuck with him, like. So let's fast forward. So the Silverback DVD was like 2009, 2010. Let's say the Monkey Bars DVD was 2007. So from 2007 to 2010, whatever we dropped, he was on it. So fast forward a little bit, 2011, me get signed with Rick Ross, MMG. Yeah, I believe that was 2011, if I ain't mistaken. And I don't know if this was the first project he dropped with them, but I know this was one of the early joints he did with the Dream Chasers tape. I mean, this when he was starting the whole Dream Chasers week. I mean, and one of the songs on there was The Realest Shit You Ever Seen, featuring H. I mean, so, you know, after they went through it with the whole Touch Money, Top Class vs. Headshot situation, you know, they still remain cool, still maintain, because like I said, they go back before all of that, I mean, so, and H and Meek, I mean, connected, and Meek, I mean, gave him a look, pretty much gave him a whoop, I mean, because that was a good look to be on that tape. Meek rolling at the time, he just get down with Ross, I mean, like, he popping his music, everything he dropping popping, so, I mean, him and H being on that joint was a crazy look for him at that time. Then they had the little video situation, because they had put a little video type joint together for it, I mean, with the song playing, but NH wasn't in the video. And they supposed to shoot an official video for it, and there was some, you know, some circumstances, crazy situation around that. But NH kind of addressed that too when we did the interview, kind of spoke on that and cleared it up. So the song "Realest Shit You Ever Seen" that you had did with Meek a while ago, I was told there's supposed to be a video. A lot of people heard it's supposed to be a video, and you know, we seen a little clip on World Star. I think they showed the visual in a strip club or something like that. I think they probably was in Miami or somewhere. And then people was wondering, everybody was talking and wondering like why the video with NH never came out, why NH was never in the video. So just tell people, you know, touch on that situation, like why that didn't come out.
Alright, like I was talking to Meek before that. I was talking to him before that, before we sort of do the video or whatever. So you gotta think, Meek got higher powers over him. He not the boss. I mean, everybody got a boss or somebody higher in power than them. So maybe they didn't condone or feel as though that the video should have been what was happening. They probably started it and I wasn't there in time or whatever the situation may be. But like, the relationship with Meek is like, I grew up with Meek. I'm from Burke Street. Meek from Burke Street. You know what I mean? Like, first niggas I rap with was Meek Mills in the basement at my man crib. I mean, that was the first niggas I was rapping with. You know what I mean? I talked to him last night. You know what I mean? So it's like, that shit ain't about nothing. I mean, he's still, you know what I mean? I'm grateful for the opportunity that he put me on the CD. It wasn't, the only Philly niggas that was on the CD was me and Young Chris. Besides that, I think he had like Yo Gotti and all those other, the industry guys, you know what I mean? So I was just happy that he gave me a win break, you know what I mean? Like, And that be the thing. Niggas just don't be wanting to be like, all right, but damn, he looked, shit ain't go this way, but damn, he did. I got shows from that song. They'll tell you, you know what I mean? I got shows from that song. That made my stocks go up, you know what I mean? So, like, he helped me in other ways, so I ain't, you know what I mean? Like, that shit ain't about nothing, like, it's gonna be great as shit later, trust me. We got unreleased music after that. After, Realest Shit You Ever Seen. We got a couple other tracks. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Since he been on, you know what I mean? So, it's like, that shit ain't about nothing, bro. You know what I mean? You know, this shit is, you live and you learn, you know what I mean? Well, like, it was a great experience, you know what I mean? I just took it for that, you know what I mean? So, like, that shit ain't about nothing. That shit ain't about nothing, sure. I would have blacked out if I felt like it was about something, man. You know what I mean? Alright.
Then, fast forward a little bit, you know, I believe this was after that, if I ain't mistaken. He had the little controversy with the Arab situation, like, as far as, like, him mislabeling him, like, calling him out to be a rat and all of that. But then he had ended up getting ad to clear that up right after that. Like, I mean, and it was like on Twitter or something like that. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I forget exactly what happened, why Ab did it and all of that. But at this time, Ab was in this bag and, you know, just, I mean, controversial, let's say, whatever. This how he was making his name and all that. Just to be popping this shit on DVDs, popping this shit on Twitter, Instagram. Like, he was one of them bulls, so he just happened to do that. But him and NH talk. And I think he did a blog or something after that. I think he said it on Twitter, and he did a blog or something saying that, you know, it's a misunderstanding and NH ain't no rat, and he pretty much cleared. So NH pretty much got him to clear that right up, you know what I mean? And then he actually addressed it in a freestyle he did later on and all that.
Stand what you do under pressure, you should never fold. Shit, I lost my nigga bricks because the nigga told. I live by the code of the streets. And when they gave Killer life, my heart dropped to my feet. Man, you ever had that feeling when you and your niggas chillin' on the grind every day on a mission to make $1 million? Then a few years later, because of a nigga squilling, they throw him in the box with some numbers that'll probably kill him. Loyal niggas beside me. And these niggas ain't got a loyal bone in their body. So imagine me ratting. You got a better chance seeing Samuel L. Jackson. Stop acting, it's not happening. I ride or die for the niggas that's ride or die for me. And only fuck with the niggas that do the same for me.
And then I had asked him about, you know, the freestyle he did in the bars that he dropped, and he pretty much talked about that. And I'm clearing it up, I mean, as far as like niggas saying that he read it or all of that, like, and that was like, you like, imagine that, I mean, like, pretty much, like.
Speaking of spitting, I don't know if you ever addressed this in an interview or not, but I remember you said addressed it in some bars. I know that. I think the line goes something like this: imagine me ratting. You got a better chance saying Samuel L. Jackson. Stop acting. It's not happening. Yeah. Know what I mean? So
he's still acting. He's like 80. Man. He was in Juice, man, when he first was in it. Like.
So I know you put out there some bars, but I don't know if you ever spoke about it at all. Know what I mean? Why you had put that in the rap or whatever.
Cause somebody put that on my name. Somebody tried to say, you know what I mean, that's what I did. You know what I mean? And actually, like, it was all a misunderstanding. You know what I mean? But it's like a lot of niggas tried to put that on my name. Like, no, like, nigga, like, it took me 12 years to build my reputation. I ain't gonna let none of y'all niggas in my shit in 12 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, it took me 12 years for niggas to be like, damn, them niggas be really doing what they do too. They be packing pistols too. They be on some shit too. Like, so it's like, that shit was like, it was all a misunderstanding. But I feel as though, like, a lot of the fans, a lot of my bloggers, they was saying that shit. Like, and that's some shit you don't really play. I don't play with that shit. You know what I mean? I got niggas that's in life, in jail right now. I talk to them every day. Free my nigga Killer, free Bricks. You know what I mean? I got niggas that's doing life, but I talk to them every day. You know what I mean? Free my nigga Phil. You know what I mean? I got niggas that's doing life, but I talk to them every day. You understand what I'm saying? So I take that. I take that shit serious. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you have to.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break. Get y'all word from one of our local sponsors. This episode of Philly Fame TV is brought to you by 1212 plant-based hair care products. These products are good for men and women and best used in barbershops and hair salons. You could pick up some 1212 products at Hair Buzz and Hair Town in Philadelphia. Also shop online 12haircare.com for all deliveries. Now back to regular scheduled programming. So, but him and Ab got cool, like I said, they cleared that right up and everything was good right after that, you know what I mean? So, prior to all of that, early on, he had a relationship with Ab. He did a song and a video with Ab early on. We talking back in, 2009? So this was even before Meek did a song with Ab. NH was one of the first people to do a song and a video with Ab for his, in the city artists that had a nice little buzz and all that. So that was a good job. So, that was just a crazy little situation they went through. But, they was able to get over it. Like I said, Ab cleared it up and all that. So, they was good ever since. At some point in time, he had linked up with Cheat Raw. They was doing a lot of work together. They actually put out a tape together, called The Commission. They had crazy rapport, crazy chemistry, because, they kind of similar as far as how they rap on some hard, aggressive, type time, So that was a good little, joint that they did. They had a couple little visuals and all that. So they had a nice little run as far as them collabing and working together and all that, So then, like I've been mentioning, he did the interview and a lot of this stuff he spoke on. So let's talk a little bit about this interview. This was a classic, game-changing interview for Philly Fame TV. So if you've been watching and you've been following the platform, this NH interview, got a lot to do with everything that happened after that. Including these episodes that I've been doing right now. NH interview had a lot to do with this. So at the time, we started Philly Fame TV. We launched our first episode November 5th, 2014. So the end of 2014. This one early on, we had started on cable TV here in Philly and some surrounding areas. On the local station and all of that. So we just dropping episodes on cable TV. Just wanted to put niggas from the city on cable, So we had episodes specifically, formatted for TV. So we had shorter interviews mixed with videos and shit like that. So try to bring back, urban expressions type time with our own twist to it, so to speak. So, so that was from 2014, and we rolled that all the way through 2015, so we get to 2016. And, we still rolling with it, but, a lot of people, wasn't, that's when Fire Sticks and all that shit really start booming and all that shit. So a lot of people didn't really have cable like that, So we started, trying to gravitate more towards, alright, we gotta really do some more YouTube shit, because it's what everybody on YouTube for real. So we putting it out on cable, but everybody can't see it, because everybody ain't got Comcast, everybody ain't got Verizon, So then at this time, that's how all this stuff come together and intertwine with NH. So this time NH was fucking with Mark Madness. He getting back rolling with the rap shit. He about to drop mixtape. About to get rolling. Trying to get the ball rolling with this situation. So Mark Madness cool, got rapport, got relationship, So he reached out to me like, yo, I got NH, he got the studio, they doing this, that, and the third. I want you to come interview him and shit. So, yeah, that's NH my guy. So, and you my guy, so, it's easy, let's do it. So mind you, at this time, we just thinking about doing the interview and probably mixing it up and putting it on cable TV channel. Or just fuck it, we just gonna try to do it for YouTube. So we didn't really know what we was gonna do. We just gonna interview NH and see where it go. So we go interview him, and we sit down, we do a pretty much regular, PC interview, asking about the music and, rapping. And when you start one of them type interviews, we ain't really get into nothing really, And after we was done the interview, NH my guy, so we just was sat down, we just was talking, busting it up, talking about shit. He was talking about his life, what he going through, rap shit, rap history, just talking about all type of shit. And after we got talking, we like, yo, bro, this the shit that should have been in the interview. Like, this is what the interview should have been. Like, because in the interview, we ain't really, I mean, mind you, at this time, we don't come from the interview era, so NH ain't had no interviews out. Niggas ain't, from that era, didn't really have interviews, just knowing from rapping. We come from the DVD era, just rapping. Might have did a little talking, a little popping shit if they was beefing with other people and all that, but it was mainly like bars. So a lot of people from that era didn't really have interviews. Niggas wasn't, I mean, talking like that. So this was like a new thing for the whole, I mean, for that whole wave. So pretty much, long story short, we just like, man, we gonna scrap that whole interview we just did, and we gonna do a whole nother joint, and we just gonna talk like how we was just talking off camera. We just gonna turn the camera off and have the same conversation pretty much. So that's pretty much what we did. We scrapped that whole joint, and we just did the whole joint over. And I just was asking him certain shit that he was already talking about off camera. So if you watch that interview, that's pretty much the interview y'all seen. And we like, man, we just gonna put this interview out as is. Like, I mean, we ain't gonna chop it down and make it into like one of our episodes with cable. We just gonna put this shit on YouTube just like it is. Like, exactly what he said, how he said it. And then that shit went up. So we dropped that shit went up. I mean, that's currently at like, so our other episodes were getting like a couple thousand views, nothing crazy like that. And this joint went all the way up like crazy. Like, it's currently at like 55K. So at that time, it probably went up. I couldn't even tell you, like, I don't even want to make up a number, but it just went up so crazy that we realized, like, damn, this is what niggas want to see. This is what we need to be doing. So from there, that spawned all the other interviews that y'all seen, especially from that era, because we started documenting all them Touch Money Top Class versus Headshots interviews. And we started getting everybody's side of the story. I mean, talking about that whole era. So that's all on the strength of that NH interview. Now fast forward to these What Happened to episodes. A lot of these episodes up to this point have been based on people from that era and the interviews that I did from that time. So that NH interview kind of spawned a whole wave of content and stuff for Philly Fame that has lasted to this day. So, and that NH interview, I mean, opened up a whole wave for Philly Fame TV. So NH, that interview, from the rapport and the chemistry that we had and the relationship that we had, that's how all of this kind of came about, like, I mean, from that joint, like. So shout out to NH, like, I mean, we ain't go in thinking that's what's going to happen, but just basically him giving it up the way he gave it up in that interview, him being so open and honest about, you know, his life and what he's going through and what he's dealing with and his relationships with people that he know and shit like that, like, that made that joint, I mean, crazy. And a lot of people in the comments was like, yo, I got newfound respect for him, hearing him talk and him keeping it real about this, that, and the third. Like, a lot of people fuck with NH from that interview. So now and based on that interview, we can get into what happened to NH. You know what I mean? Because in that interview, he pretty much explained at that time, I mean, that was like, let's say late September 2017, because the interview dropped October 2nd, 2016. So let's say we filmed it a couple days before that. I mean, so it came out October 2nd, 2016. And at that time, he pretty much addressed, like, what happened to him from him being one of the hottest people from the DVD era and one of the top names and one of the favorites, why he didn't make it to that next level. He pretty much said it in this interview.
Like, back then, like, I was happy with just getting money. A little couple dollars from the DVD. You know, a couple DVDs, niggas would steal you a couple dollars. Get some pussy. I mean, all the bitches. You know what I mean? So it was like, I ain't never take rap for what it is. You know what I mean? It's for money. It's a talent. You can get rich from this shit. I wasn't never thinking of it like that as a kid growing up. I wasn't thinking that I can get rich from it, you know what I mean? So I was on and off with it sometimes, rapping when I feel like it, playing when I, you know what I mean, do it. Just, if a nigga say you ain't got it no more, I might drop something and be like, yeah, nigga, I still got it. You see that 100,000 views, you know what I mean? I still got it, you know what I mean? So that's how I really was doing that shit.
He got too comfortable with just being known for being hot, having a name, getting some, some groupies, because they had the wave at the time, so, the chicks was around. I mean, he get a little couple dollars from people who, a lot of people started coming out with DVDs and stuff like that, trying to capitalize off the DVD wave, like y'all see today with, the blog pages and the YouTube channels. That's how it was with the DVDs. Like, once a couple people did it and made it popular, us being one of them people, like, I mean, if you know, you know, then everybody started doing it. So once everybody started doing it, a bunch of people was paying people to get on they DVD, like you see today with these platforms, podcasts and all that. A lot of people paying people to get on them, like, so NH would make a couple dollars like that. So he said he was pretty much cool and comfortable with that. He didn't think nothing beyond it. He didn't think about, I can get signed and get a deal, and let me get this business structure, let me do this. I mean, he was a young boy still, mind you. Remember, he started popping on the DVDs when he was 14, at the time when a lot of them other guys was like 17, 18, 19, 20, you know what I mean, like, and older. He was 14, so he was the young guy, and then mixed with all the older people that was popping, you know what I mean? So even though he was popping and he was the peers to a lot of them guys and going at it with a lot of them guys, he was younger than them. Like, him and Meek the same age, but Hattie and them a little older. Reed and them, I think, a couple years older. If I ain't mistaken, I know Rain Man a little older, Hollow Man, Cree Fortune, all them older guys, I mean. So NH was a young boy, and he ain't really, he ain't really think outside of, I'm just having fun doing me right now. So he ain't have his business side right. He wasn't business minded at the time. That's according to him. And then another thing was, a lot of people was questioning, like, well, you and Meek from the same hood, y'all cool, y'all this and that there. You was on the song with him, why he ain't got you on Dream Chasers, or why he ain't throw you no oops and this and that third. And one thing NH was saying was Meek was low key always showing him love, always putting him on stuff, always trying to tell him to do this, that, and the third. But and this some of the stuff he said on camera, some stuff he just said to me personally, like bro, Meek can do me all types of, but he said, I blame myself, bro. I didn't make the moves. I didn't move on them. Meek will offer me this, that, and the third, tell me all I gotta do is do this, and I just don't do it. According to NH, like, I just didn't do it, like. So he's like, I don't never look at Meek in no type of way. Like, Meek ain't, he always spoke highly of Meek. He always showed honor to Meek. He always said Meek ain't do nothing but try to look out, nothing but show him love. Like, he ain't never had nothing bad to say about Meek on camera or off camera. Like, he always said Meek ain't never do nothing but try to throw him oops. So NH pretty much always took responsibility for where he was at and why he didn't make it. I mean, he said he had opportunities like a motherfucker. Even Meek, once Meek was down and Meek was on and Meek was lit, talking about after the song he did, I mean, like, because he had posted a picture like some years ago. They was in the studio together in New York. I mean, and they linked up in the studio, took a flick and all that. This was like, I want to say maybe 2018, some shit like that, maybe 2017, like, some shit like that, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to quote the exact year, but I know it was around that time frame, whatever. They linked up. So he always been cool, and Meek always been showing him love, and they just never, he never made the proper move to make to make it to that next level, like. And he blamed himself for that. He ain't never fought nobody else. So, that's one thing in the interview he said, and a lot of people respected him for, like, keeping it real. So, like I said, over the time of us doing Philly Fame TV, and since we did that interview, we did multiple interviews after that. Like, so, like I said, you've been following the channel, he been all over the platform. Over them years from 2016 to 2017, on there a couple times. He even, and we did a cypher. I think we did a cypher in 2018, if I ain't mistaken, I want to say. because we did 2 ciphers. We did one joint at Black and Nobel early on, and he was there. Him and M.I popped up, but he ain't rapping that joint. He just came to show love, like, I mean, and support the niggas that was there. And I mean, I says my guy, you always show love to him. I mean, always. And I ain't even tell him to come out, none of that. He just knew about it. And he just popped up. Like, I mean, M.I, like that's like I said, type of relationship we had. But the second joint, after we did the interview, one of the interviews we did, I actually put him on the spot. Like, bro, you gonna come out to this joint, this shit like that. He like, you gonna put me right on the spot. Like, yeah, I need you to get in this joint. And he came out and he got in it. I mean, had Greg G's host that joint with Dash, one of our hosts. And a couple niggas came. D Jones came out. Magic, another one of my guys, Magic. I mean, always came through the ciphers and shit like that. I mean, yeah, that went down. Caliber was there, RP Caliber. So yeah, and he came. So he all over our shit, like all our shit that we got going on. He always was a part of it.
Unless he got the feeling he can get me to $1 million. Pump by the door, a couple guns by the ceiling. Any nigga plotting to stop us, then we gon' kill him. Certified gorillas. Trust me, we eager to let that thing quake. We going wild like the white bitches at spring break. I cream chase it till my pockets is heavy. I'm Miami, ride clean, no top on the Chevy. Fuck nigga, I'ma give you what you asked for. And my shooters waiting at your front and at your back door. You nothing more than a nigga with a death wish. I rock you, and your mom's up in my next wish.
I mean, then in recent years, like a couple years ago, you know, you had the little back and forth with Young Hot. I mean, I think he had said something on, you know, he was doing the shit with Johnny Mac. He was doing a little podcast joint. He was co-hosting. It's like the first episode he was doing. And he had said some shit about the rappers from that era. I don't know if he mentioned Young Hot by name or not, but he mentioned a couple rappers from that era, I guess not transitioning. I forget exactly what he said. Transition to the new era, whatever the case may be, like him or something. And Hot had threw a little shot and he went back and forth. And I had documented that, posting it on the platform. If you've been following, then you know. You know Johnny Mac, you know that's NH guy, so he's on Johnny Mac ain't, you know, posting none of this shit with Hot. He's just supporting NH. I mean, respectfully as I respect that. I mean, that's his guy, so he's riding for his man. Like, but I was the platform that posted, you know, both of them going at each other. You know what I mean? And NH respected that too. Like, yeah, like bro, like you ain't show no bias. Like, I mean, like you posted both sides. If he says something, you post it. If I say something, you post it. So I mean, they fucked it with that, so I pretty much covered that. And I was going to do an interview with both. I was supposed to do an interview with both of them, but, you know, I had went back to Atlanta before I could, you know, had both of them together and get it done. But they was cool throughout the joint. Was never no beef, never no bad blood, never no bad energy. They was actually talking during the course of this shit. So that was a good little back and forth for the city at the time. You know, they both from the DVD era. A lot of niggas from the DVD era was quiet, you know, wasn't really active like that. So they kind of bring that shit back, like how the Touch Money Top Class headshots shit was back. They kind of bring that shit back a little bit for a quick little second and all that. And you know, also another thing that happened recently, you know, when he was on, you know, the live with Johnny Mac and Head and Sue Surf, and Sue Surf was talking crazy to Head about battle and all that, and Head ain't respond back the way, you know, niggas thought he should have responded back, and they jumped on the live and, you know, pretty much let that be known. And Head had said some old cool stuff, and they had a little back and forth, I mean, like on the live and all that. So that was like something that happened in recent years. That was small, you know, there ain't really no beef or nothing with them. That was just like little small little stuff. But in more recent time, you know, he did a song with Leaf Ward. I mean, he was on Leaf, and I think it was on Leaf Ward, one of Leaf Ward recent projects that he dropped. He had put that joint on there with NH. I mean, so, you know, Leaf Ward, one of the top guys in the city and all that. So that was a crazy little joint for NH to be on, you know, in current time. He started all the way back early in the DVD era, and to have the you know, one of the top rappers in the city in current time, you know, honor you to the point he put you on a project. I mean, he fuck with NH. I mean, like I said, NH can relate to a lot of them because of what he went through when he was a young boy, as far as his best friend getting killed and him going through stuff behind that. Like, so he can relate to a lot of what these young boys going through today, because he went through it, you know, back then. Like, so it's just crazy to see, like, in recent time, you know, even though Leaf Ward just got booked recently, you know, I mean, he just got booked in recent time, I mean, but prior to that, he was rolling one of the top guys in the city, like, so that was crazy. You know, on top of him, you know, working with Leaf, another young guy that he got some work with, you know, he got some work with Tor as well. You know, I mean, he got a couple tracks done that's going, I don't know if they out yet or if they coming out, but he definitely, I mean, he said he got some work with Tor, you know what I mean, and Tor, another hot artist. I mean, one of the top artists in the city right now, and I mean, Bandstow Leaf book, like I said, so, you know, Tor running it up right now, so that's just a crazy, you know what I mean, situation for him to have, you know, music with two of the top guys in the city right now that's carrying the flag in the city in 2023, you know what I mean? And then, you know, not that long ago, they just had the battle with, Easy versus Reed and all that, and he had that whole battle card in Philly. You know, Johnny Mac was hosting that, and NH was there, like in the mix with all the rappers that was around. I mean, that was there at the battle. Like, he was there in the mix. Like, so that's like, what was that, months ago? Like, so that's pretty recent. You know, you got the battle coming up. Another Trenches card battle coming up soon. You know, Hollow gonna be battling in that joint. I mean, and Johnny Mac hosting that joint too, I believe. So, you know, and they fuck around be there too. So as far as where he at now, he's still around, bro. He's still around. I mean, he ain't as active rapping, but who knows? I think he been talking about battling in the last couple years, so I guess if the right situation come along, like the right opponent, the right platform, the right bag, I mean, he might fuck around and might see him in the ring, like battling one of the niggas, like. So as of today, you know what I mean, he might drop some song, he might drop, because he still be dropping shit here and there, he still get a little feature here and there. I mean, so whenever he feel like rapping and popping up with some shit, he pop up with some shit. He still get love, still get respect. I mean, I'll never hear nobody talking bad about him. I mean, like, he one of the favorites from the city from that era, like, even still to this day. If you ask, like, who the top 5 from the DVD era, NH gonna be in that joint. And he'll be in most people's top 3. Like, I mean, like, and that's debatable because there's so many people from that era who was fire and all that, and that's crazy, but, like, NH gonna be in them conversations, bro. Like, you say, who the top 3, your favorite top 3 from the DVD era, like, NH name gonna be in that joint, bro. A lot of people top 3s, a lot of people top 5s. A lot of people top 10s, like all of them top lists, like, and if you just do a Philly list, Philly history, top 10, he probably be in some people's top 10, like, of all time. Like, he got that type of, like, he's one of them type of people that, you know, like, he been around so long, he been hot so long, talking this shit so long, like, he been on so many different projects, so many different DVDs, he did shit with so many different niggas, like, I mean, he got a relationship with so many different people. He cool with so many different people. Like, I mean, he one of them people, man. Like, he definitely one of them people. He definitely a Philadelphia staple, for sure. Like, when it come to Philadelphia hip hop and rap, like, and he's been around, so he ain't never make it to that next level where people felt he had the potential to make it. But, you know, as far as Philadelphia is concerned, he's stamped, bro. Like, we had a Hall of Fame. I mean, he definitely be first ballot in that joint. I mean, for sure. So shout out to NH. That's my guy. For sure, man. Like, that's crazy because my guy so much. I talked to him recently. Y'all be talking to him at recent time. Like, I mean, I ain't telling him I was going to do this show. I ain't gave him no heads up. I ain't asking no background info or none of that. I just based pretty much all of this off of the interviews that he did and the information I already knew from about him, you know what I mean? So he fuck around, hit me up about this joint after he watch it, you know what I mean? Because I know he gonna hear about it. He probably gonna see it more than likely because he a nigga too that always followed the platform, always watched our content, always supported, always show love. Like, I mean, he always let me know every time he see me, like, bro, I watch all that shit. Like, I watch that shit, bro. I fuck with that shit. I be watching that shit, bro. Like, so I know he probably gonna see this shit and hit me up like, damn, nigga, you ain't even tell me this. I mean, like, so I hope I did him justice, and I hope I got everything as accurate as possible, which I feel like I did. So shout out to my bro Anish. He one of the most stamped, sturdiest, I mean, guys in this rap shit that been around, most genuine. I mean, ain't nothing not bad I can say about bro, man. It's my guy. So that's what happened to Anish. That's where he is now. And that's how we gonna conclude this episode. It's episode 13 right here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Shout out to everybody that's been tuning in, been tapping in, been supporting. Keep supporting, keep showing love. We got new episodes coming, new content on the way. If you ain't check out the past episodes, make sure y'all do that. If you ain't check out our Philadelphia series, make sure y'all do that. Check out our past interviews with NH. I mean, past ciphers with him. You know, check out all our past content too. I mean, in the meantime, between time, we signing out. F.A.M.E TV, we out here.